So what is druidry and what does druid mean? Druid is probably the Gallic equivalent of the word shaman. Scholars theorize that it means oak wisdom, or one whose knowledge is great. So druids are those who seek wisdom. In the context of the rites and practices of druidry in the Black Mountain Druid Order, this means practicing a form of shamanism. What is now the Black Mountain Druid Order was founded in 1997 by members of the Emerald Coast Druid Grove in Pensacola, Florida. When we moved to the western North Carolina mountains in 2000, we often met in the town of Black Mountain, North Carolina, near Asheville. Our mother grove was then called the Black Mountain Grove. The grove became an order in 2003 when it began training apprentices in the teachings of the Black Mountain Druid Grove. As we grew as an order, we gradually found ourselves shifting to an emphasis on Celtic shamanism. This is because the more we studied the old Celtic myths and legends, the more we found tantalizing clues as to what was obviously a Celtic form of vision seeking. For example, in the Welsh book The Mabinogion, there's a story about the birth of the bard Taliesin. During the course of the story, he starts out as a boy, Gwynbach, but then undergoes a rebirth to become Taliesin the bard. Taliesin then shapeshifts to become a hare, a salmon, and a bird. This is metaphorical mastery of all the elements, earth, sea, and sky, in the context of a shaman. Finally, he gets cast into the ocean in a leathern bag, which is probably a reference to the practice of bull sleeping, in which a Celtic shaman was wrapped in the hide of a bull to induce sensory deprivation prior to seeking visions. The story of Taliesin is not unique in the Celtic literature. There are many more stories about journeys to the other world, or being captured by the Fae and taken to the land of the young, known as Tir na Nog, or about shape-shifting, or vision quests, or of herbal magic. All of these are tools of the shaman. The Mother Grove of the Black Mountain Druid Order now resides in Tacoma, Washington, but we kept the name Black Mountain in honor of the heritage and history in the mountains in Asheville, North Carolina. In a metaphorical sense, the name Black Mountain also symbolizes the potential of the unconscious mind. Consciousness is just the tip of the iceberg for the vision seeker. In the Black Mountain Druid Order, we seek to tap into the powers of the unconscious mind through the tools of Celtic shamanism. To the uninitiated, the unconscious mind is truly a black mountain waiting to be climbed. In our order, we seek to climb it. There's a saying attributed to a woman of the Cherokee that if you take the Christian Bible and put it into the wind and the rain, the paper on which the words are printed will disintegrate and the words will be gone. But our Bible is the wind and the rain. So what exactly is a druid? The exact origin of the word is unclear, but most scholars speculate that it comes from the Irish Gaelic word dore, meaning oak tree. In Celtic lore, the oak is a symbol of knowledge and wisdom. There's also an Irish word draoch, meaning magician or sorcerer. If we combine the meanings of these two words, we get a picture of the Druids being a people of great wisdom who are also magicians or sorcerers. Druids were and are concerned with the natural world and its powers and spirits. They considered the trees to be sacred, and the king of trees, the oak, was the most sacred of all. So a Druid's power derives from the natural world. If you spend much time reading about the myths and legends of ancient Ireland and Scotland, you'll also recognize a firm belief in the spirits of nature, spirits of the land, and spirits of the other world. Druids in these legends and myths were quite adept at passing between the worlds and had extensive rites and rituals for doing so. In other words, Druids practiced animism and were and are the shamans of the Celtic world. This television series is our effort to create a guide for those seeking a basic understanding of Druidry as practiced by the Black Mountain Druid Order. The TV show is for those new to paganism and nature-centered spirituality, but also those who have been studying the path for quite a while may find much that's useful in this series. The Black Mountain Druid Order is an order with an emphasis on shamanic practices and shadow work. Those of you who follow a Druid path may find much that looks familiar, but also much that may not be so familiar unless you also have studied shamanism. Our roots, orders, and Druidry are evident, but as we continue to learn and grow, we expand beyond the boundaries of modern Druidry as usually practiced and into the world of the shaman. The significance of the number 3 resonates throughout Celtic forms of spirituality. There are triple gods and triple goddesses, and threefold paths of many kind. One way that this obsession with threes manifests in our order is through the first triad. The first triad is the threefold path that makes up druidry in our order. Our first triad consists of the earth path, the sun path, and the moon path. The earth path deals with our relationship to the earth, the sun path deals with our relationship to spirit and the divine, and the moon path deals with our relationship to ourselves. The components of the first triad are further broken down into their own triads. These triads are, for the earth path, animal wisdom, the Ogham or the Ogham, and deep ecology. The sun path, the wheel of the year, gods and goddesses, and rites of passage. And in the moon path, the triad is dream work, meditation, and vision seeking or shamanism. The foundational druidry course that all of our first year members go through for a year and a day is divided up into 3 paths as well. While there are shamanic paths throughout the world, the shamanism of the Celtic peoples was usurped by the Judeo-Christian religions. The vision-seeking techniques and practices of our Celtic ancestors were largely lost with the coming of Christianity. But the Druids and the Celts left behind tantalizing clues to recapture and reconstruct druidry. Many of these clues lie hidden in books written by Irish Christian monks who obviously painted a veneer of Christianity over the older legends. But that veneer is occasionally thin enough to see through. Once it's peeled away, we may peer behind it to catch a glimpse of what ancient Druids may have practiced. By adding this knowledge to the wisdom gleaned from other shamans from around the world, we can begin to rebuild what our ancestors lost. There's a joke in many Druid communities that if you ask 3 Druids a question, you're likely to get 5 or 6 opinions. Coming up with a definitive answer to the question, what is Druidry, can be frustrating to the novice seeking to walk the Druid path, because Druidry is such a highly individualistic journey. So what sets the Black Mountain Druid Order apart from other Druid orders and other pagans in general? We believe that nature is the Druid's Bible. We get our inspirational enlightenment from what we learn about nature and the world around us. We do this in a variety of ways. One way is to realize that matter, energy, and spirit are not separate things. Druids do not see the world in dualistic ways. To a Druid in our order, everything has a life spirit or a life force. When you realize that matter and spirit are not separate things, then everything is alive. And everything that is alive can be a teacher. The secret to learning from nature is to accept that not all wisdom is gained from books or spoken words. Various studies have demonstrated that somewhere between 70 to 90% of communication between human beings is nonverbal. This means that only a small part of communication relies on the words being spoken. The rest is the inflection, the body language, the mood, and the general feel of the conversation. There may even be communication at work on a psychic level between individuals. Think about the idea of nonverbal communication for a moment. How could this idea relate to communicating with nature? For example, if you own a pet, has your pet ever made its needs known to you? If so, then your pet was able to communicate with you on a nonverbal level. Could trees communicate as well? If we learn to listen to the trees and learn their ways of speaking to us, what could they teach us? One of the goals of Druidry in the Black Mountain Order is to seek out the ways nature communicates to us and to learn how to listen. For this reason, your first activity on the path of the Druid in this foundational course in Druidry is to find your birth tree and spend a year and a day with it. The first step to accomplish this goal is to figure out which tree is your birth tree. Oregon of the night, guide my spirit home. Are you interested in nature-centered spirituality? Are you looking to learn more about contemporary Druid practices? Did you know that the Black Mountain Druid Order has a free course in Druidry? Our foundational Druidry course covers the Wheel of the Year, basic herbalism, the Ogham alphabet, meditation, dream work, and vision seeking. It also teaches you how to begin doing your own shadow work. You'll also explore some rites of passage celebrated by our order. The foundational Druidry course is always free, and you're under no obligation to join our order if you decide that the way of the Druid is not for you. Find out more by visiting Black Mountain Druid Order's website at blackmountaindruidorder.com.
As we are reborn.
One of the first things that students in the Black Mountain Druid Order do is to calculate the month of their birth and to find the tree associated with it. This can sometimes be confusing because we use a lunar calendar of 13 months rather than the familiar 12-month calendar. Because we have 28-day months, a universal calendar, though, can be constructed to make it easier to find your birth moon and thereby your birth tree. The starting date of each tree moon always falls on the same date, with the exception of a leap year. In a leap year, the dates are slightly different. The first step in finding your birth moon is to determine whether or not you were born in a leap year. If you weren't, then the starting dates for the tree moons will be as follows below. If you were born in a leap year, or if you were born in the southern hemisphere, you can visit the Black Mountain Druid Order's website at blackmountaindruidorder.com and type how to calculate your birth month into the search field. There you'll find detailed instructions and a universal calendar. First off, for the non-leap year, we start off with the mistletoe day, which is the winter solstice, December 21st. Next is the birch moon, and that is for people who are born December 22nd to January 18th. The rowan moon is January 19th to February 16th. The ash moon is February 16th to March 15th. The alder moon is March 16th to April 12th. The willow moon is April 13th to May 10th. The hawthorn moon is May 11th to June 7th. The oak moon, June 8th to July 5th. The holly moon, July 6th to August 2nd. The hazel moon, August 3rd to August 30th. The vine moon, August 31st to September 27th. The ivy moon, September 28th to October 25th. The reed or the elm moon is October 26th to November 22nd. The elder moon is November 23rd to December 20th. One of the exercises for the foundational druidry course of the Black Mountain Druid Order is to spend a year and a day learning about a tree or plant. Usually you would spend this time period in learning about your birth tree, but for those living in urban or suburban environments, finding a birth tree can be challenging sometimes. This is further complicated by the fact that our tree horoscope uses plants native to the Pacific Northwest region of the United States. If you live in another location, you may have to find a substitute from local varieties for your own tree calendar. If you are fortunate enough to have access to your birth tree, you can use it for your period of study. If not, you can select another tree that seems to call to you. It may also be that when you find your birth tree, it doesn't quite resonate with you. That's okay too. Many druids, including most of the druids in the Black Mountain Druid Order, believe in reincarnation, and it would be arbitrary to focus on the date of your birth in this life if you've lived multiple lives prior to this one. So if you find that your birth tree doesn't really fit you, then select one that you feel more comfortable with. Since our order has members all over the world, and since the original Ogham is based on plants that are native to the British Isles, you'll probably have to make your own local substitutes for some or all of the trees of the Ogham. To do this, first familiarize yourself with the characteristics of the plants of the Ogham. We'll be going over these in future videos. Next, find local varieties that have some of these same characteristics. Note also that the names of many of the plants of the Ogham are also wide categories. So for example, the vine can include various types of grapes or other plants. In northern Scotland, they even use blackberries for vine. There are also many varieties of oak, ash, willow, and ivy. Just substitute a local variety in your own Ogham. Druidry is about honoring spirits of place, and the best way to honor the spirits of place where you live is to use the varieties of plants that grow where you live. Now, select a tree, preferably your birth tree, to spend a year and a day with. If you're fortunate enough to have one of your birth trees nearby, plan on visiting it at least once a week for a year. If you don't have a birth tree nearby, you can select another tree from which to develop a relationship. If there are no trees or other plants at all in your immediate area, Spend at least one day a week doing research on a tree or other plant of your own choosing. The purpose of this exercise is to gain intimate knowledge of a tree of the Ogham, so make your selection with this goal in mind. I would like to point out, in the interest of historical accuracy, that the tree calendar is a recent construction. There's no historical evidence that there was ever any sort of tree horoscope practiced by the ancient Druids. This is something that was, as far as we know, invented by Robert Graves in his book, The White Goddess. But since it's been around since the 1940s or so, and since it's so useful, the Black Mountain Druid Order uses it. We don't claim that it's something that our ancient ancestors practiced. We just claim that it's something that we find to be of utility today. So if you feel that way too, feel free to use this tool to help you on your journey. The Druid's Egg meditation is done as a way of protecting yourself from negative energies. A Druid's Egg is also one of the tools of the Druid. It is an egg-shaped stone that Druids carry in their crane bag. While doing the Druid's Egg meditation, you may wish to hold your own Druid's Egg in your hands as a focal point. If you do not have a Druid's Egg stone, then you may hold another stone, or any other sacred object you wish to hold as a focal point. Some have actually held an egg. This is an especially powerful technique when done at the vernal equinox. A group Druid's Egg meditation ritual for the equinox using real eggs is often followed by a communion in which the egg is ritually eaten. To begin this Druid's Egg meditation, start by centering and grounding yourself with a brief period of passive meditation. Sit or stand in a comfortable position, holding your Druid's Egg in your outstretched hands, palms upraised and cupped together. Your hands should be even with your solar plexus. This meditation should be performed outdoors if possible. It's preferable to stand on the ground barefoot during this meditation so that the earth's energies may enter your body through your feet. To begin, feel the earth's energy entering into your body as you breathe in and out. Slow your breathing. Take regular, deep breaths. Breathe as slowly as possible without becoming uncomfortable. The goal is to breathe deeply without becoming lightheaded or dizzy. As you breathe, visualize a yellow light entering your lungs and emanating from your solar plexus. This yellow protective energy is radiating from your lungs throughout your whole body. See it move from your torso to your fingers and toes, bringing healing and protection with it as it goes. Now picture this protective energy moving from your solar plexus at the center of your being into the druid's egg in your hands. It may help to close your eyes while doing this visualization. The light is expanding from the egg and radiating all about you in an egg-shaped bubble. This protective egg of yellow light is shielding you from negative influences and harmful energies. See the light slowly expanding from the egg to finally meet itself above your head and below your feet. Visualize the entire process and see the light in your mind's eye every step of the way. When your druid's egg energy is complete and you are safe within its protection, meditate for a time within it. see the energy of the Druid's egg staying with you and following you as you go about your daily activities. When you end this meditation, the egg will not disappear. It is made of the energy of the original cosmic egg from which this universe was born. This energy is eternal. By calling this into yourself to mingle with your own energy, you have tapped into the protective powers of the universe. The Druid's egg energy will now follow you wherever you go, granting you protection and serenity. When you are finished with this meditation, come back to yourself, leaving the Druid's egg shell of energy intact about you. Now place your Druid's egg stone into your crane bag. For added protection, carry your Druid's egg in your crane bag with you wherever you go. Now end this meditation by opening your eyes and returning to this world.
Hi, this is Shinka Skane, Chief of the Black Mountain Druid Order. If you're enjoying Black Mountain Druidry, don't forget to subscribe and leave any comments or questions below. You can learn more about the Black Mountain Druid Order or become a member by visiting the website at blackmountaindruidorder.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, blessings of the ancestors on you and yours.